Now, I am angry. Who am I angry with? With God. But you can't be angry with God, right? I can, and I am. Because that is the relationship that I have with Him. We talk, and we talk often. So why am I angry with God? Because life should not be this hard. The battle between good and evil was won when Jesus came and defeated the devil and paid for our victory. So why do we have to fight a battle against the devil every day? A battle that has already been won. Why do we have to suffer and accept suffering as something that we will always have to engage head on in the future and even around the next corner? I thus go to God and say, this is not on, it is not acceptable. You said in your word that in order for us to get just a slight glimpse of your love for us, just a slight glimpse, so that we as humanity can understand the extent of your love that you have for each and every one of us, none excluded, then we should consider the love that we as parents have for our children. We know that love. We shower that love. We protect our children. And when they ask for something, even if we don't want to get it for them, we find ourselves looking for that item on Takealot late at night. Why? Because my son asked for it. And if he asked for it, then there is something within him that caused him to ask for it. In our case, we are constrained by finances and the number of stock items left. In your case, God, you are not constrained by finances or stock shortages. All the money in the world belongs to you. And there is no stock shortage, because if there is, you will instruct for that item to be made. It is as simple as that. We are your children, and if you have a need for something, then that need comes from you, because you created us with that need. And if we are being unrealistic and asking for something ridiculous, as our children sometimes do, then we expect you to speak to us and tell us that plainly, clearly, to speak to us as a father would speak to a son. We know that talk. Years of silence from you, our God, is not acceptable. Years of wandering off a path into the dark with no voice or sign from you as a father is not acceptable. We would never do that to our children, and we do not expect you to do that to us. I repeat, you said if we wanted a small glimpse, just a small glimpse of your love for us, we should consider the love that we have for our children. We may not know much, but we do know that love for our children is off the scales. It is embedded so deeply in our hearts and our entire beings. And no matter where we are, at home, at the store, anywhere, the one thought at the front of our mind is always, I wonder where my son is right now. I hope he is okay, and I hope he is happy. And that is why I am angry. Because at times, in fact, let's call it as it is, most times, it feels like you do not have those thoughts towards us, your children. We feel isolated, unloved, unwanted, and uncared for. It is a feeling that you will not understand God, because you are surrounded by love in heaven. On earth, we are not. And you know that this earth belongs to the devil, because disorder and hatred and everything bad prevails, even though there is some good. You said in your word that the devil goes about like a roaring lion, seeking who he may devour. You know this. You said this, and you leave us to his strength and guile and vicious jaws to inflict pain upon us, whilst it appears that you just stand back and watch us being emotionally and mentally shattered. We know that you are a God of love and an angry God. Your anger is all over the Old Testament, where you asked Abraham to sacrifice his only son just to test him, where you asked Moses to wander around in the desert for years before asking him to lead the people out of Israel, and out of Egypt, and you refused to remove his stammer, because this resulted in him having to whisper to his cousin and to tell Pharaoh, "Let my people go." You let the devil take everything away from Job: his life, his children, his wife, his children, his property, his cattle, his health, everything, just because the devil told you to take your hands off Job so that he would curse you if he lost everything. So you did. And you let Job suffer. You deliberately agreed with the devil that you would not answer Job when he cried out to you. And he would have cried out to you when he lost his wife and his children and his relationship with you, because you chose silence towards Job. So for being good, for trusting in you unconditionally, Job was rewarded with you turning your back on him and completely ignoring him, whilst he had to deal with the devil all on his own. Many of us, how many of us on earth are being subjected to that Job test right now? When can we expect the devil to stop being rampant in every area of our life, just to prove that we love you unconditionally? Maybe you can give us a date when this test will end. Will it be another 5 years or another 10 years? You see, we do not have the time that the people in the Old Testament had. We do not live more than 700 years of age as they did. Our time through this earth is limited, and we pass through only once, as you know. And here's the conclusion to this conversation, God. It is written that one of the most powerful things that we as humans can do is to take God's word, your word, back to you and remind you of what you said. So let us remind you of what you said and what you did. You allowed Jesus, your son, to come and save us. You turned your back on Jesus whilst he hung on the cross. You let Jesus shed his blood for us to create a pathway to you to appease your anger. So we are reminding you, God, that you promised that Jesus will have our back, and life should not be this hard. And if you say it, then we believe it. We do not expect to have a rosy life, and indeed some of our children will not have a rosy life either. However, we have got them as their parents. And for many who have been waiting, then we are waiting for you to also log on to the online Takealot store in heaven and send us the details so that we can track the delivery date of our order. That was a joke. But all we are asking for is a sense of your presence wherever we are, because you constantly remind us that you seek relationship with us. We are now letting you know that we seek relationship with you too, and that is how you talk to your God, unashamedly, undiplomatically, unpolitically correct, unlooking for the right words. You speak and you cry out from your heart with everything that is in your heart, because he knows what's there already. He can see it even if you can't or don't want to. You see, I have learned this lesson in my life. A lesson learned is a lesson shared. Because we are not just followers and friends, we are family with whom we share lessons. The time for being away from God, who created you and placed you on this earth for a specific purpose, is a time that has long gone. So, make the decision to introduce yourself to him today and speak from the purity and the hurt and the pain and the joy that is in your heart. It is as simple as that.